Boy, I done messed up, y'all. In my last episode, I was so hyped about NBA free agency that I was like, yo, in a little bit, we're going to talk about Paul George, aka PG-13, aka Podcast P. I intended fully to talk about him potentially landing in Philadelphia. But as the episode went on and on, I kind of just kept pushing that bullet point back. And when I went back to listen to the episode, I realized that I did not talk about Paul George. So we're doing a special midweek episode, just a pop-up episode to make sure we cover that, because if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. We believe every NBA fan that plays fantasy football should also play fantasy basketball. So the big news is Paul George, aka PG-13 Podcast P, will officially be cooking with hot grease in Philadelphia. With the Sixers, Joel Embiid, this might be the landing spot that gives him the best opportunity to have success in the playoffs. Paul George being a number one player really didn't work in Indiana. It just didn't work. And then when he was a number two in LA, that didn't work because Kawhi wasn't really ever healthy and is never really healthy when it matters, right? So it's worth noting that Paul George has never had the success that maybe people expect from him and his skill sets because he hasn't been on a team that has the firepower to do so. That all changed when he signed this contract, or when he's, figuring out the contract with the Sixers. So according to Yahoo Sports, he is going to be coming over to Philadelphia on a 4-year contract worth $212 million. Man, that's heavy. The breakdown is in the 24-25 season, he'll be getting $49.2 million. In the 25-26 season, he'll bring home $51.7 million. Then in the 26-27 season, he'll be bringing home $54.1. And in the last year of his contract, he'll be bringing home $56.6 million. It's crazy, y'all. NBA players from back in the day are probably like, what the? How they do me like that? Like, that's crazy, yo. But it's worth noting that your man is 34 years old. So by the time this contract is concluding, he'll be in his late 30s, and he won't be the player that he is today. And even though players like LeBron James show that, folks can actually play later in their career, he is an anomaly. We've never seen anything like LeBron James. Although KD and Steph are still pretty good in the later years of their career, I'm interested to see how they, progress or regress over the next couple of years. So PG-13 will be playing with the Sixers, which is, again, a big deal, and I think it kind of gives Boston their greatest challenge in the East. Milwaukee, I'd like to say that they will be a challenge, but honestly, I don't even know. But what I do know is that you need to check out BetOnline. BetOnline is your number one source for all of your sports betting needs this season. From baseball, golf, soccer, right to all the top fights in UFC and MMA and boxing. Every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads while the games are being played. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker, or unwind with one of our over 150 slot games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Use promo code BELIEVE for your 50% free bet credit on your first deposit up to $250. Cha-ching! BetOnline. The game starts here. So besides Paul George, we also have Tyrese Maxey actually securing a really big contract, $204 million over 5 years. The young man came up, he got his bag, and he's playing on an all-star level. So with Paul George at the wing, Tyrese Maxey at point guard, and then you have a big man in the middle, Joel Embiid. It kind of creates a dynamic that we really haven't seen with big threes in a while, right? Something similar like that with Dwayne Wade playing guard. Then we had a wing like LeBron James, or versatile wing, I should say. And then we had a big with Bosh. But we've never had a big like this. Like Kevin Garnett, maybe as well, a power forward when he was paired up with Pierce and Allen, but they didn't have a true point guard there in their big three. This big three has everything you want. It's like a big three lasagna. It has the sauce, the meat, ayo, and the pasta. I don't know who would be what, but I'm sorry that I said that. Anyway, you look at it, Maxey securing this deal gives the Sixers a nice window with Paul George being on board for 4 years, Maxey on for 5, and then Embiid with his existing contract. I think this gives him a nice window. Next up, we got to talk about your man Klay Thompson. Oh, baby. Klay Thompson secures a 3-year, $50 million deal with the Dallas Mavericks. Come on, man. He is standing on business. Like, I want to win a championship business. What better way to creep towards getting another chip than joining the champions from the Western Conference, the Dallas Mavericks? Now, there were rumors and discussions about him joining the Lakers. He grew up a Lakers fan. His dad played for the Lakers. His dad is actually the play-by-play commentator for the Lakers. So it made a lot of sense for him to land there. If you listen to my last episode, I was on the hilltop saying Klay should not go to the Lakers. He does not need to play with LeBron James. Now, Luka Doncic, a younger version of what LeBron James brings to the table in terms of versatility, rebounding, assists, and scoring, this is a good fit. And he's also paired with, or also grouped with, I should say, Kyrie Irving, one of the most elite scorers in the league. So, I am super excited about him just kind of reinventing himself. I think some of the pressures associated with being on the Warriors, him getting benched. He got benched for Brandon Podziemski, for crying out loud. This is Klay Thompson, a certified first ballot Hall of Famer, 4 championships in Golden State, 13 years of faith, dedication. Like, he's been there. He's been one of the centerpieces and cornerstones of this franchise for over a decade. And he got benched. So could you imagine just the mental load that it would take on a person to I've been the guy now that everyone's looking at me. Being in a new environment, I promise you, Klay Thompson will thrive in this offense. He don't have to do nothing but camp out in the corners because there's going to be so much attention on Luka and on Kyrie. And now when Luka and Kyrie sit, where, maybe Luka would take on all of the offense or then it would switch to Kyrie. Now they have that second piece. That was one of the challenges that they faced in the finals, is that if Kyrie wasn't cooking and if Luka wasn't cooking, it was just not a good look for them. So I think this is a great look for Klay. I think it's a great look for the Mavericks. I don't know if it'll push them over the edge to win the championship, but they'll be right in the hunt when it comes down to the Western Conference Finals. Another one not as memorable, but definitely something I want to talk about is Tobias Harris. Tobias Harris is going back to the Detroit Pistons on a 2-year, $52 million deal. And then another big move, Isaiah Hartenstein from the Knicks will be signing with the Thunder for a 3-year, $87 million contract. Now, this hurts the Knicks. Don't make no mistake about it. This hurts the Knicks in the gut, in the stomach. This is a hot dog water situation for the Knicks. Like, don't get me wrong, getting Mikal Bridges is a good look, but Mitchell Robinson, when healthy, is a great young center, right? It's a great big. They need a solid backup. And right now, I don't know who's on the market that they would be able to fill that void with. I'm sure they'll make it work, but this is definitely a hot dog water, dumpster juice level situation in the front court for the Knicks. But I'm going to tell you what's not a hot dog water situation. Owner's box. Fantasy sports fans, are you ready to elevate your game with a thrilling twist? Let me introduce to you Owner's Box, the unique daily fantasy sports platform that changes the game with a one-of-a-kind lightning lineups feature. Imagine this. It's just you versus Owner's Box. No more complicated matchups or endless stats to analyze, just a direct showdown where your sports savvy shines. With Owner's Box, you simply spin, pick, and if your lineup hits, you win. It's that easy. Whether you're a rookie or a seasoned fantasy player, Owner's Box Lightning lineups are perfect for anyone looking for some quick contests with a great chance of winning. It's all about making your experience fun, fast, and favorable. And here's the best part. Right now, Owner's Box is offering up to $500 in bonus rewards with your first deposit. Yes, 500. Just visit bit.ly/ownersbox500 to get started and claim your bonus. Spin, pick, win. Join Owner's Box today at bit.ly/ownersbox500. Now, we talked about, I want to make sure I don't miss anything this show. We went through most of the signings that I wanted to cover. Now we're going to give a segment to an organization that I really don't like, I don't care for, and I don't give a shih tzu puppy if they ever win another championship. I'm talking about the Boston Celtics, the Larry Birders, the Robert Parishes. Here we go. So, first big piece of news, Jason Tatum signs the largest contract in history, NBA history. 5 years, $314 million. As much as I hate on the Celtics, I do not hate on Jason Tatum, and I really like Jaylen Brown. So this is congratulations for them. It also says that they are pushing all of the chips to the middle of the table. They are all in on this team's current build. Next up, we had your man Derek White secured a contract, so he's going to be around for a while. And then the last piece I wanted to cover is the Celtics franchise is for sale. Yes, they are putting the franchise up for sale. What does this mean? For me, it seems like a sell high, the sell high of all sell highs. If you have a historic franchise, one of the most valuable sports franchises in all of sports, and you come off a championship, this might be a good opportunity if you're a majority owner to see if you can make a flip and make a profit, especially if your goal was to win a championship and you go out on top. I think that's poetic. Another thing that's worth noting, there are members of the ownership group who might be in the position to actually purchase the franchise so they can keep it in-house. From what I've seen, there is rich historic culture with the Boston Celtics, and they don't want an outsider kind of coming in to disrupt that, especially as they are in an era of success. Despite just winning a championship last year after drafting Tatum and Brown so many years ago, since drafting those two cornerstones of this franchise, they've been in the hunt consistently. Like, they have been knocking on the door relentlessly, and I imagine they have a really strong chance of repeating, which we haven't seen in years. So for me, the selling of the actual Boston Celtics is not a surprise. It happens, but I believe there will be a sale that occurs within their current ownership group where somebody kind of swoops in and becomes that new majority owner. Now, this is really important. I got to go through this. Guys, you have to be a two-way player. You can't just play offense and not play defense. So what do I mean? On offense, we need you to watch the YouTube videos. If you get any value from what we create here, you can run that joint on repeat in the background while you're washing dishes. Just run one of our playlists and just listen to all of the stuff that we worked on in the past. If you want something that's relevant to fantasy, you can check out our how-to or our beginner's guide to fantasy basketball to learn the ins and outs. That's how you play offense. Now, people don't talk about defense, but defense wins championships. As you know, we're part of the Believe Network. We need you to listen to the podcast. Yeah. So if you watch our content on YouTube, we also want to encourage you to listen to the same content on audio, wherever you listen to podcasts. Now, I get it. Let's say you don't listen to podcasts. This is the best time in human history to start listening to podcasts. And you know what? You support the channel when you do that. We want to make sure we're showing up for our podcast network, Believe, but we also want to make sure that we're showing up for you. So we're here every week doing our weekly show, but also there'll be some short form content on TikTok, Instagram, and on YouTube Shorts. And then we'll have pop-up episodes like this where we just pull up if there's a topic or something that needs to be said before the show goes on Sunday. One more update on offense and defense, right? Since we're playing offense and defense, we're a two-way player. We're watching the videos. We're listening to the podcast. We're going to go live for you every Sunday over the next few weeks. It seems like we're getting a lot of people engaged in the offseason. So look for us at about 11 p.m. every Sunday. I'll be going live until further notice. Now, if you want to get alerts on your phone, please subscribe and turn on notifications on the YouTube channel, but also you can join our Discord. It's a free Discord. We have about 2,000 fantasy basketball fanatics in there who are talking shop all day, every day, and tomorrow. So if you want to do that, all you have to do is visit believeinfantasy.com and you can be a part of the Discord community. Now, what I want you to do is check out this playlist right here and watch as many episodes as you like. This episode was presented to you by BetOnline.